All right, guys, finally, let's jump into the Scentromatic system. When I say finally, you guys probably would understand what I'm saying that. The reason I'm saying that is because I have tried to record this particular content for like probably 4 times, and one thing just leads to another, whereby either the mic is going in and out. The other time I recorded for 1 hour, 8 minutes, right? And realized that the mic wasn't even on. It was terrible. Okay, then I tried again today to record, and I recorded everything and it was fine. But when I tried to listen to it again, I realized that the mic was going in and out. So now I hope this is working well. I hope the mic is not giving me an issue, and I hope you guys can hear me better. Now let me jump into this. I will try to make this video quick. I don't want it to be too long, so I might talk fast. And I will try to give you guys the very thing that you guys would need to take out of this particular system, because it's packed. It's a lot of things to talk about. Okay, but without any further ado, let's get started. So right here you have the Scentromatic system. That's the name of the system, and you can actually toggle lights and dark. I like the dark mode. I know a lot of you probably will like it because it's easy on the eyes and it even makes it look beautiful, right? So let's go from left to right so I can talk about these areas quick so you guys can see how everything lays out. Okay, it is very easy to use, and I'm just going to do a real-time simulation for you guys so you guys can see exactly how the system works. So now, what is the Scentromatic system? So the Scentromatic system is a unique tool for air freshener makers or manufacturers. By simulating different formulations, you as a maker, you as a car air freshener maker, you can reduce trial and error costs, optimize performance. Okay, so today I want you to start seeing various use cases whereby you can implement this system to help you leverage and actually elevate your production and give you that better performing car air freshener or home air freshener actually. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about, and that's what we're going to be looking at. Is no longer about just talking about it, it's now showing you guys how it works. And that's what you guys can do as well when you get the system and you go out there and you start pitching to B2B or B2C, that is business to customer or business to business, or retailers or even car dealership, going there and telling them about your product. Then you're showing them this and telling them, look, this is the reason why I'm telling you what I'm telling you, that my car freshener lasts for this long. And this is a system that's going to help you actually break it down for your customers or your prospective customers. All right, let's jump into it. So in the left hand corner here, you have the product configuration. So right here, you have the product type. In the product type, you have the car air freshener and you have the home freshener. So that's the two that I have right here. Okay, so I make car air fresheners and home air fresheners using cardstock. Excuse me. So that's why I put both of them there. If you're using just car air freshener, you can just stick that. All right. So for material, we're using cotton cardstock, or we're using wood or ceramic. I put wood and ceramics because I've used wood and ceramic car air fresheners before. Actually, I still use wood car air freshener with my Redolence car air freshener that is made out of wood. So people still buy those, so I still use them. That's why I kept them there as well. And ceramic, I've used it before, but I've never sold them because I just use them for testing, but never launched the product, right? But I put it there because I might return back to the ceramic again. All right. So if you select like wood, it gives you wood type. So you can choose pine, cedar, bamboo, and the rest of that. Okay. When you do that, you can also choose your thickness. All right. Okay. So for the cardstock where we are, I will just choose the 3 mm. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing today. All right. So okay, let's go down here. So the carrier oil. So we have DPG and we have the other ones that are listed here. Okay. And I will not be showing this right now because there are some carrier oils that I added and I tested some of them, and wow, that's all I'll say right now. Wow. and I will be doing some simulations with them so you guys can see them in action. You might not see the name, but when you get the system, you will see the name because the system has all the carrier oils that I've actually tested, it has them in there, and you guys can go ahead. No, let me take that back. Some of the carrier oils that I've tested, okay, and that's what I will say. And the ones I've tested, those are the ones I'm going to demonstrate today. Okay, and here you have the carrier oil amount. You're going to put that here, and then you're going to see the total oil amount will be automatically imputed by the system. All right, down here you have the dipropylene glycol, which is the DPG. So you have the properties, and it measures in CP, which is the viscosity. So this is 56 CP. All right, and this is the evaporation rate. So right here is moderate, 0.8. So you guys can just look at this area here. I don't want to go deep into this for now because of our time. And I will be doing a video constantly about this. So breaking things down so you guys can understand it more. Actually, the system is easy to understand once you start using it. It's very straightforward. All right, so we'll come up here to the right-hand corner where you have the scent configuration. Underneath, we have the scent type, which this system actually helps to break it to break the fragrance oils into their own categories. So if I click on this drop down, you have all these different categories of fragrance oil. So one of your fragrance oil is going to actually fall under this category. Is either the citrus, floral, spicy, sweet, fruity, fresh, woody, musky, herbal, or even your custom one. So for example, if you choose like citrus, you have orange as the variant. So if you click on that, you have lemon, fruit, grapefruit, bergamot, lime, and tangerine, right? So there are other ones that might be here, such as pineapple and stuff like that. But you will know that the majority of whatever makes up your citrus is going to be something that you can select here. Okay, and if you have like something that is not here, you can actually add your custom one here, and you can give it the name here, and you can pick your scent color, okay, your particle color. The particle color is something you guys will love to see, okay. Actually, you're going to see that you can select the particle color that you want, okay, and that can be simulated in the 3D simulation model, okay. All right, so let's go back here. All right, let's go back here and choose citrus. Okay. And over here, you will have the fragrance oil amount. So you're going to put your fragrance oil amount here. And then that is going to calculate your total oil. Your fragrance oil amount plus your carrier oil amount gives you your total oil. Okay. So you can see that 0.5, 0.5 gives you 1, right? Okay, so that's how it's going to work out here. Now, over here, you will see where it says oil performance tips. This is very important, guys. So you want to click on this and look at this very well. This just gives you the tips about maximizing your scent performance, okay? And you guys should read this. You should go through this. It's going to open your eyes about certain things that you might think you already know, but it's going to expose more stuff to you. And you can see also here the optimal oil loading for different materials, right? And right here, you have the blending tip for scent categories. So it's going to help you blend your oils as well. I have another tool that actually does this as well. But this one is within the system, which is going to just give you a heads up on how to do it. And here I have what you call layering. And I've started doing something like this. I talked about this to someone else about starting to do some layering, and he also said something about that as well, that he's experimenting something like that. So yeah, great minds think alike. So this is very important that I put it there because this is something that might be a new way of people fragrancing their car air fresheners as well. So it's right there for you guys to look at. Okay, down here you have the environmental condition. The environmental condition actually tells you about your temperature, your humidity, your airflow, and these are the things that people overlook when they have car air freshener. When they use their car air fresheners, they ask, why is my car air freshener not lasting? Why is it that it only lasts for 5 days? You will see the reason why your car air freshener lasts for 5 days or 7 days or 14 days, right? You will see that here in the simulation. Okay, and temperature, humidity, they play a huge role in determining the impact of your car air freshener longevity. Okay, so let's come down here. Okay, so this screen shows you the 3D simulation area. So right here, you have that cardstock just floating in space. Okay, well, this is just floating around, right? So that's the area where the magic happens, like people will say. But over here is where your live data will be displayed. Your live data is gotten from what goes on in this simulation, and you guys are going to see that. Okay, and here is going to talk about your current concentration. You're going to talk about your diffusion rate as well per hour. It's going to talk about your ppm, which is your parts per millions. Okay, it's going to talk about your estimated longevity, your simulation time, and also it's going to break things down here for you how long your car air freshener is lasting per day, okay, and until it's gone or fades away, okay. And this is just the one time, 10 times, 24 times is just how fast you want the simulation to go. Because when you go, like when you take this to stores to pitch your product, you're not going to sit down there with a manager or with the owner of the store and running your simulation for 1 hour, right? They don't have time for that. Okay, they have things to do. So that's why I made this to run fast, okay, so they can see how things are moving, okay, and how things are. All right, so over here you have the run simulation, you have the pause button and all other buttons there. Now, I want you guys to see these two buttons that I want to show you guys. So one of them is the predict longevity. So when I click on this, it's going to show me how long this car air freshener is going to last, okay? And the other one that is important is the compare scenario. So the compare scenario is the one whereby if you want to compare two fragrance oil and or maybe the way they react, and the how long they last, you can compare that using that, okay. And all of these buttons just help you export your files or even load or even save this session that you've done and then come back later on and upload that session, okay. And it will give you everything that you've done in the past, okay. And down here are just the result analyses. So here gives you the concentration analysis, okay. Right, and here gives you the scent concentration over time, and this one gives you the scent concentration by distance. So when you put your car air freshener in your car and you walk away and you want to come back to your car, how far are you when you can start smelling your car air freshener in your car? It has happened to me before. Put my car air freshener in the car and I went to bed. The next day I got up to go to work, and by the time I opened the door to get to my garage to get in my car, I could smell it from the door. Okay, so that is what it's saying, okay, over here. All right, and this is just the particles, the way they display. You guys going to see that live as well. All right, so other ones here I will talk about as we go. I don't want to waste too much time, so let's go and do a simulation. Okay, to start a simulation you need some things. You will need to know the fragrance oil amount and the carrier oil amount to use, so you can put in your numbers and you can simulate. Already we have our cardstock, that's what we're making, and we have our 3mm's cardstock. Okay, and we're going to be using the citrus. Now, how do we find our fragrance oil amount? I know mine offhand because I've used it before, so I can say 17, okay, and this will be, sorry, carrot oil will be 0.07 because I already know this, and it's going to give me 0.248 or 0.2 when you round off or round down the number, the 4, so it's now 0.2. Now you might ask, how did you get this? I don't know how to get this. I haven't done this before. Okay, I understand that. For those who have bought the previous air freshener calculator, you already know how to do this, okay? But now I'm going to show you guys how to do this for those who haven't heard about this before, who haven't heard about the calculator before, who will show you guys how to use it. Now, this is a new, revamped, rebranded, and facelift of the air freshener calculator. Okay, so this is how it looks like now. So for those of you who have the like previous one, okay, you will tell that this is absolutely different and this is gorgeous, right? So it is different. All right, so right here you have the Ultimate Pro Air Freshener production system. But Chris, you said it's a calculator. Yes, it is, but I cannot just call it a calculator because it has evolved like more than a calculator. Okay, right now you have the calculator section. Okay, and then you have the dashboard. Okay, and you have all this stuff in the dashboard, right? And now you have the order area. Okay, when you make an order management, so this is where it is. You have inventory, you have report, and you have data management. So this has evolved into a full-fledged production system just from a calculator standpoint, right? So that's why I don't call it a calculator anymore. I just call it a production system. Okay, so right here, this is where you're going to come and get your numbers. Okay, all right, so let's get into that. So for this, just sake of this, I'm not going to do too much on this. I'm just going to go get the numbers and maybe talk a little bit about this, but I'll be doing a full video on all these tools that I'll be referring to in this video. Okay. All right. So let's get to this. I'll just call this fresh lane. Sorry, I can't see here. The light is directly on my keyboard. Okay. Fresh lane candle company. All right. And order type would be standard. I can choose either of this rush order or wholesale order. I can just choose either one. I will be making Kaya Freshener. I will be using citrus. Okay. And right here says the length of my cardstock. I know my length of the cardstock already. And I know the width of the cardstock. And I will choose 3 mm, which is a premium cardstock. Sorry, guys, I'm talking fast. And over here is the dry one. I'm going to say the dry weight of my material of my cardstock is 2, 3. And the saturated weight, after I've weighed them and I've done the saturation weight, then it will give me 0.54. Okay. And then this I will choose the practical saturation of 80%. You can choose 100%, but hey, you choose 100%, your cardstock might be oversaturated. You don't want that. And you can choose 90%, which is high saturation, or you can choose reduced saturation. Either of these will be okay. Reduced saturation or 80% saturation is fine. Anything below that, you just undersaturating, okay? All right, so we're just going to choose the 80%. And over here, we're going to say 70% ratio. That's what we're going to be using. And we're going to use DPG, and we're going to use, okay, the rest of this we're going to just leave there because this is just talking about cost and profit margin and all of that. So we are not going for that now. We just need a number for the fragrance oil and the carrier oil. All right, so how many are we doing? We're just going to make one Kaya Freshener. And right here, it's going to ask us about our surface area for the individual Kaya stock. I already know this, and it's 7.26, and you get this from multiplying 3.3 times 2.2. Okay. And over here, the labor cost, we don't need any of this right now. When you start doing your own Kaya Freshener, you can start plugging all of this in here. Okay, so again, I'm going to do a full video about this someday. All right, so here we're going to leave all these markups and all of that. So if you're doing wholesale, you can see that 15% is already there. And if you're doing a rush order, that 20% is already there. Okay, so you can charge more for that. I'll do more videos on this, guys. All right, so let's jump into the calculate. So let's click on calculate. As soon as we click on that, you can see all of this information come to you. Okay, and now you have the material properties, and this is our material area, our surface area, and it gives us our absorption rate of 0.4. Okay, which is good. All right, and we're making one, and we have our carrier oil requirement, and we have our oil requirements right here. So this is what these are the numbers that we need. So right here it says total oil needed is 0.248, right? And here we have the 0.17, okay, the fragrance oil, and the cara oil is 0.04. 0.07, excuse me, and our total oil per freshener is 0.2. Okay, so that's what we need, or 0.24. And over here you have that analysis of your cost. If you want to look at that and your pricing, you can have all of that. All right, so this is just what we need right here. Okay, just for the sake of showing you guys the power of this particular production system is when I click on save order. Okay, right here, the order has been saved. When I come up here and I go to the dashboard, you're going to see that I have one active order. Okay, and it's saying my monthly revenue is the amount, okay, 2.95, whatever. Okay, so this is just a rough input of data that I put here. Okay, so right here, if I click on order, so it shows me there is a pending order. I can come here when the order is already started. I can come here and just go to pending, the status, and I can click on in progress. Okay, I can do that and click on save, and it changes color to progress. Okay, I can come here and I can see the inventory. I use DPG, so right here it has reduced, and I use the citrus. You can see from 25 it has reduced to 24.8, and the report will give me that. So it just showed me what I'm using, my cardstock that I use, the citrus that I use, and the DPG that I use. And over here, it gives me that profit analysis stuff here. Okay, so when I go to the dashboard, over here, you see the production timeline. You don't see anything here because if you click on day, then it's going to show you, because this is like a Gantt chart system. Okay, you can see that. If it's the week, you can see that. The month, you can just scroll this all the way, and sorry, you can see that there. Okay, so that's just the way this system is. You see why I don't call it a calculator anymore? It's a real production system, guys. Okay, that's not what we're here to talk about. Let's jump into our Scentromatic system. We got our numbers and we have them plugged in here. All right, how am I doing with time? Okay, 23 minutes so far. All right, let's push this further a little bit. All right, so we can come here now and we're going to set the using citrus. Okay, we're going to set the temperature to 72, the humidity to 50%, and the airflow we're going to leave it at 5. Now if you come down here, you will see where it says car vent for car air fresheners. Okay, so if I open the car vent and I put it on low or medium, it shows here that it's on medium. Okay, if I put it on low, it shows that it's on low. And all of these factors that impact, the cardstock or the car air freshener, it's going to be here as well. And we have a wind gust. So you drive in and you decide to open the window, you can click on that, and then it will even show like a simulation of what's going on there. All right. Okay, so here we go. Let's go right now and test the system. All right, we're going to run the simulation and we're going to click on run simulation. Right, so you can see this area, the citrus color is right there, orange, and it is releasing its particles. And right here you have the diffusion rate of 59.2, which is about 25.8% per hour. So that's how it's diffusing. Okay, and over here you have it started at 16 ppm, parts per million. Okay, so it's just spreading that. So the parts per million is kind of the equivalent to the concentration of what is happening right here. Okay, so as it comes down, this also comes down, just showing you that you can either use this part per million if you're familiar with that, or you can use the current concentration if you're more familiar with that. Okay, so I decided to put both of them there. And over here just gives you the simulation time. All right, so now you can come down here and see what's going on with the particles bouncing around. All right, and this is just telling you the strength profile by direction. Okay, so it has the left, right, front, back, and center based on your cardstock. Okay, so it's giving you based on the cardstock the way it's kind of diffusing and releasing. All right, over here it gives you the concentration by distance. Remember when I said when I put that in my car and I come in the morning to go to work, I could smell it just opening the door. So it's just telling you um, how many feet you can smell this based on the percentage. Okay, so now see how it says it's the simulation has stopped. So by with five, like when it gets to 5%, it will stop because that's how I want it to be, so that you don't have that long time talking to people about your simulation because they're going to lose interest, right? So you want to be quick when you start talking about your product. Okay, but don't worry about it. You can just keep running the simulation. Okay, every time it stopped, you can just keep running the simulation. Okay, but you just don't want to have something that will just run for hours. Okay, and to bore the people, right? All right, so right here, you can now click on the predict longevity. So it tells me that this citrus is going to last for 23 days, excuse me. And you might say, wow, that's it, 23 days. Actually, it is a good estimation. 23 days is very good. Most car air freshener lasts for only 5 days, okay, or 7 days, right? And we're using DPG for this. And again, we're setting all these parameters, which can actually influence how long your car air freshener will last. Okay, so now we're doing this, and we can come down here and we can look at the diffusion rate. Okay, see the diffusion rate right now is showing 59.18, which is about 59.2, which is right there. You can see that. Okay, so you can also come here, you can see the influence of your humidity and your temperature, how it affects or impacts your scent longevity. Because the higher the temperature, you know what, instead of me talking about, let me show you guys. Because the higher the temperature, the lower your longevity. So if I increase the temperature right now to 91 degrees and humidity, I decrease that to 27 degrees. If I click on, let's run this simulation. If I, even without running the prediction of your longevity, this diffusion rate already tells you 71.9. That is high already. So it tells me that the longevity is going to drop. So if I click on this, can see just gave me 20, right? It is still not bad, right? But if I now go all the way to 100 degrees, it is hot, right? And I brought this down to 18% of humidity. And then I decide to turn on the AC, the vent, right? And I put it on high, okay? And the airflow, I increase it all the way to 10. Now you can see the particles, how they are going crazy, right? It is now more active. Now, your car air freshener, usually when you put it in your car, it's diffusing at its rate, at its normal rate, based on your carrier oil. If you don't have a carrier oil, it will diffuse faster, right? But because of the carrier oil, it slows down the evaporation of your fragrance oil within your cardstock, right? So now, if you have a situation like this, whereby you have high airflow, you have high temperature, you have low humidity, right? And then you blast your car in your vent, your AC comes on very high because your car is hot because of the temperature. Now, all of this is going to affect. Now, look at your diffusion rate. It is like 116.6, okay? And it's going to like 36% per hour. So it's going fast. Now, if I come and I click predict longevity, that is your longevity right there. 8 days because you're using what? DPG, and you have all of this. All right. So now let's save this scenario because I'm going somewhere with this. No, now we just save this scenario that we say, okay, this is 8 days, scenario one. And that is what? Your citrus. Now I'm going to do something different. Still using DPG, still using all these parameters, right? I'm going to now go to, okay, you know what? Let me show you guys that longevity graph. You guys can see that. Okay, so if you look at this, it shows 8, right? So 8 days. Okay, that's where it lasts right there, 8 days. Okay, all right. So now using the same DPG, now we're going to go and select a different fragrance oil. So fragrance oil categories, they have different strength as well. Like the woody and the musky categories, they seem to last longer. Citrus, for one, don't last that long, right? they don't last that long because they have this strong outburst. They come in there, they show themselves, and they say, "We are here to shine. We're here to stay," and they just like boom, like just so how you want to watch Netflix and you say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to like really watch this movie and stuff like that. You get everything prepared, prepare the popcorn, prepare the drinks, and prepare all of this stuff, and you sit down there, cover yourself in blanket, ready to watch it, and boom, as soon as they started the movie, you snoozing off, right? So that is what the citrus and those scents do. They come as if they can really do all of that. Yeah, they make all the noise because they have strong smell. They're very good, right? Have strong smell. But then when the action starts, they just like start dissipating, and they just start, coming down, very fast, because that's their categories. That's their properties, okay? But then you come to like musky, woody. Now, if I put musky, for example, and I chose amber, right? I come down here and I just click predict longevity. You can see it gives me 13 days. And we're using the same DPG. We're not using any other fragrance carrier oil, but we just changed the fragrance oil. And you can see the color has changed, okay? So I'm going to save this scenario so you guys can see the comparison between two of them, right? So next I can say, how about I change um, put it back to citrus, and I want to change the carrier oil, okay? Okay, so I just changed the carrier oil to a different carrier oil, okay? And you might ask why you're not showing it. Don't worry, when you get the system, you will play around it and you will find that carrier oil. All right, so right here, you can just come here. I'm using the same citrus. I'm just going to click longevity. It gives me 17 days, okay? 17 days using citrus. All right, now I'm going to save this scenario. Okay, now I'm going to go up and I'm going to change it to the same musky, which is amber, and I'm going to show you how long that's going to last. All right, I just changed that to musky, and you can see the color has changed, and I'm going to just click on longevity. Okay, and it gives me 26 days using a different carrier oil. All right, so that is what it is. All right, I'm going to save this one also for the comparison. All right, so you guys can see those different days. All right, what about the people that say about I don't use any carrier oil, I just use fragrance oil, and I don't know why my carrier fresheners don't last that long. I'll tell you why. All right, let's simulate it instead of telling you about it. All right, so I just put here none, just fragrance oil, and I'm going to leave it at, musky, just to be fair. I'm going to leave it at musky, and I'm going to come here and you can see where it says it varies based on the fragrance oil, right? Evaporation rate is about 3.0, which is very high. Okay. And it will say here strong initial burst. So it's going to be very strong because it's just fragrance oil, nothing else to slow it down. Okay. And it says short term application, right? It's already telling you that this is not going to last that long. And if you come to the diffusion rate, what do you think, guys? Tell me what you think. Okay. I will believe what you said. So right here, we can come here and we say predict longevity. It gives you 3 days. Okay. So if without carrier oil, people say my fragrance doesn't last that long. This is the reason. Okay. You can simulate this to your customers. You can simulate this to even the people you want to sell your product in their stores. You can show them why some of their customers are complaining that this other Kaya freshener that is not yours, this other competitor Kaya freshener is not lasting, why your customers are complaining. You can show them this might be the reason why it's not doing that. It's not lasting longer, right? And also, some people say they like to use alcohol. Let me just save this comparison right here. All right. Some people say they use alcohol. They don't use any other carrier oil. They like the alcohol carrier oil. But the alcohol used as a carrier oil is going to give you that fast boost as well, just like it's like you never have anything. But it's better than having nothing. And I'll show you guys that. I just added that carrier oil or the alcohol as a carrier oil, and it's telling me 1.2 CP and it's saying 2.5. And over here it says 1.74.9, okay? Diffusion rate. Okay, you kind of get it. It's going to give me maybe something higher than 3 days, but it's going to give me something lower than 10 days, right? So if I come over here and I click this, oh, look, let me run a simulation to make sure because it's still giving me 3 days. Oh, it still gives me that 3 days. Okay. So now let's say we want to return back to normal temperature. Okay. Bring this back to, 72 and this back to 50 degrees or 50%. All right. And you're going to bring this airflow back to 5 to normal. And you want to turn off your vent, right? And you run your simulation and you click the predict longevity. With alcohol, you have 6 days. Okay, just standard. You have 6 days or maybe 7 days, who knows, right? But this simulation is saying you have 6 days. Okay, so if I change now this back to um, the DPG and I run the simulation and I click on this, it gives me back that 23 days. All right, now I brought this back to the 23 days because I want to simulate something further. All right, I have some carrier oil that I've tested and I've decided to do some blending between carrier oils. You know how we do blending between fragrance oil? I was able to do some blending between carrier oils and I've seen some results. Now, right here, I have 23 days, okay, just using DPG. Now, I'm going to blend something. I'm going to blend a particular carrier oil with DPG, okay? And you guys going to see what it is, okay? So I've blended DPG with FCO, which is coconut, which is fractionated coconut oil. Okay, I've blended both and the CP is lower, and then you can see the diffusion rate is lower, right? So if I click on this, it gives me 32 days. So it's for me, it's better to use that combination, okay, to like to kind of mix with my fragrance oil to give me a longer duration. So right here it says best uses projection plus duration. So the projection is going to be the DPG and the duration is going to be the fractionated carrier oil because it has a very moderate, slow rate of evaporation. So that's why I'm blending that. And I have some other blends that I have in this. And I'll be talking about some of those in the Telegram group. And for those of you who are in the Telegram group, I will be coming on there and I'll be talking about most of these blends that I'm using so you guys can see them. If you haven't joined the Telegram group, you can do so by clicking the link in the description. It will take you to the Telegram group. If you haven't downloaded Telegram on your app, in the App Store or in the Google Store, you can do so as well and you can join that group. I am no longer doing much on Facebook. I'm sorry about that because I just needed some active community right now, and it doesn't seem like Facebook is becoming active anymore. All right. Okay. Side note. All right. So say you're driving and you want to open your window. Look how this is simulating, right? Watch what happens if I enable wind gust. Okay, when gauss is enabled, and you can see now these particles will start shooting. See that? They start shooting because the wind is coming into your car, right? Now you got to remember when you put car air freshener in your car, they are passive, okay? So they are just passively diffusing. When you now open your window and the wind is coming in, it becomes an active tire freshener because now it's like the wind is pushing, the fragrance is causing them to diffuse faster. Just like the heat can make your tire freshener diffuse faster, even the wind can do the same thing. If I add your heat here, okay, and I can see that it's already, increasing diffusion. And you can see that right here. If I click on predict this, it shows 16 days. Okay, because of this little thing I just changed here. Okay, and you can just play with this stuff. As you can see that. Let's turn it off and see what happens. Okay, back to 32. All right, so now you are in Arizona, right? Or you are in Houston, you are in the south where sometimes it could be very, very hot. So in Arizona, you have a peak, like you have temperature reaching 100 degrees. and humidity reaching maybe just 17 or maybe 20. Okay. And you want to simulate something like this, right? What's going to happen is when you click on predict, um, and you, of course, you probably have your heat on. I mean, your not heat in the hot season, right? Your vent on and stuff like that, and you actively pushing, right? If I click on this, it gives me 16 days using my DPG plus my fractionated coconut oil. You guys have seen it. If I use just DPG, it gives me about 8 days, right? Okay, now I'm going to use that other oil and show you guys what happens, right? All right, if I click on this, it gives me 22 days. So if I lived in Arizona, which has a dry heat, okay, I will be using something like this carrier oil, okay? I'll be using that. And if I sell majority of my car freshener in places like Arizona, I will be definitely using this carrier oil to help me get that high um, longevity. While other people who don't use this carrier oil, what they will be doing is just using the regular alcohol or maybe using regular fragrance oil without carrier oil, and then they are not meeting the needs of their customers because their car freshener is not lasting that long, right? But you can own the market by using this tool and knowing that you can simulate different environment, you can simulate different temperature, you can simulate different parameters and variables to give you that optimal win for your city or win for that particular store. You can use this to go to a store and say, look, I can give you car freshener that will last this amount of days. Okay. And you can show them instead of just telling them, you can show them with this tool and say, look, this is what we use, this is what we do, and this is our result. Okay. I took this. So these are the use cases for this particular system, the Scentromatic system. I took it to the store where I sell my car fresheners and I showed it to the product acquisition manager. And she was like, wow, this is amazing. But you know what, Chris? We don't even need you to show us this because your product already have shown us this through the testimonies we get from our customers. So that is a good testimony. So she's like saying that we don't even need you to prove to us anything because your product already did the talking themselves. All right. So that is very good. But with this, I will be taking the system and some of my samples to car dealership. I've not done car dealership yet, but I will be doing it because this system kind of gives me this confidence now. It gives me this boost of confidence that I can take this and I can say, okay, I know how to talk about my product, but how about I show you how my product actually works using this simulation. All right. So that's one of the use cases you guys can use for this system. All right. And if you have, like, I used to sell a lot at one point from California. People from California used to buy my car freshener so much at one season. And then another season, it was just people from Texas, just constant people from Texas. Sometimes I will look at my phone when I get a notification from Amazon Handmade and I will just say, before I even open it, I will say, this is from Texas. And when I open it, it's like Texas, right? So it's so funny because at that moment, I was just getting so much from Texas. Then at one point, it was Puerto Rico. So I was getting from Puerto Rico. I was shipping to Alaska as well. And it was like, oh, wow, let me just use this DPG and this and that. But now that I know that all these different places, if it's Alaska in the winter time, I know I can just use my DPG. If it's Arizona in the summertime, I know I can use this particular carrier oil and I can probably use DPG plus the fractionated coconut oil, mix them together, and I can have 22 days, okay? Something like that. So I can use this particular simulation to actually formulate different longevity for different cities or states or countries, right? I can use that to do all of this so that I don't have to waste money doing manual testing, buying products and oils and just doing all of this different and just doing all of these different testings and burning money and all of that. Now I can use this simulation to do that for me without burning all those money. All right. So that is part of what I wanted to show you guys. There's a lot of things that I want to show you guys, but I can't because of our time. All right. So you guys can see all those scenario that I did. You can see all of them here. All right. So all of them right here. That's what it's displaying for me here. Okay. I really would love to explain more about all of this analysis, but our time right now, we are at 48 minutes. Okay. And I want to show you guys some other things. Okay. So this is where we're going to stop with the simulation. Now let's talk about how you can get this. Okay. So now I have been able to release this out. At first, when I was creating this, guys, this is now almost 3 months. I've been creating this for a long time. The thought came into my mind, but I didn't really do much about it. So I was creating this in my head. So until I went to that open house and people were asking me questions, right? Questions about my products and about my car fresheners, home air freshener, candles, and all of that. And I was like, wow, how I wish I had something that would just be playing in the background, like a simulation where people can just go and enter their fragrance and they just click on run simulation and can predict, longevity. What just going in my head while I was, sitting down there talking to people. And I started saying, you know what, how about I start working on it? So that's why I started working on it, and now it has grown to this particular product right here. So this is something that you can say is an industrial secret, right? You can say this one is my secret. This one is something I shouldn't share with everybody. And you will be right. And I told one of the members in my Telegram group about it. But if I'm telling you guys to buy cardstock, or you're coming to me to buy cardstock, and you want to make your business grow, you want to do big things with your business, right? And I am not there to support you, to give you the necessary tools that you need to grow your business, then I'm not there to help you. I'm like, okay, that is not who I am, and that's not what I want to do, right? So I decided to say, I'm going to bring this out and I'm going to share it with you guys. Okay, so this product, it is not free, right? It is not a free product. You guys probably guessed that product like this or a system like this cannot be free, right? It is not, okay, because it took me time to actually create this. Now I run this system with other systems that are like this in their category. There's nothing like this right now that I know of, but I ran this in the same category of some softwares like this or systems like this. And the price they were talking about is about $34 per month. That's what people were selling, something similar to this. But I'm not selling this for $34 a month. I am not doing that for this, right? So what I'm doing is just the system itself can go for that price. But what I'm doing is this. I created a membership website. Okay. And there is a web membership website right here. So over here is where you can get the system. And it is, oh, you got a video I created, right? And over here you can see the key features of the Scentromatic system. All right, here you can join the membership right here. Okay, this is how it works. So it's just step by step how it works. Join the Scentromatic system, enter your parameters, simulate with confidence. That's what I just did with you guys here, right? So that's just straightforward. Right, then you have the monthly plan here. So I made it a monthly plan because some actually, I only know of two. I only know of two members who actually told me that you often have to say this, maybe not. Okay. Actually, in a nutshell, they say you need to do something that will bring more serious people into this. You got to start charging some monthly fees about the information you put out there or the tools that you've been given for free and all those things. You need to start charging for something like that. I was like, you know what, you guys have a point because sometimes if you don't charge for something, people don't see the value to that, all right, or of that thing. You guys can tell this Centromatic system has some value to it and has some use cases that I probably have not thought about. Some of you might even come about with some amazing use cases for this system. Please, if you come about any of those use cases, please share them with us. Okay. And over here, you have the $14 per month. This is the basic one. And you say, oh, wow, that sounds like it's expensive. Oh, actually, maybe it's not, right? Because the Centromatic system itself can go for $34 a month, right? But what I've done is I've reduced it to $14 and not just $14. And not just getting the Centromatic system, actually, you're getting the ultimate production system. So you are getting this as well. Okay, if I had to sell this by itself, this probably will go for $20 by itself, right? But you're getting the um, Freshener production system, okay, included in the Scentromatic system, okay? And also you're getting the yield prediction tool. And this tool is something that I have come to love, okay? So this is the tool. It looks small right here, but it's a giant. All right, so if I open this, I say, for example, I have just 10 fragrance oil or 10 ounces of fragrance oil left of, let me say, 10 ounces of lemon left, and I put that there. And I have, say, six or five, let me just say five carrot oil left. And my ratio is about 70% fragrance oil to carrot oil, and my absorption rate is 0.04, and my length is 3.3, the width is 2.2. Okay, and I don't want to like I want to know how much car freshness I can make with this amount of fragrance oil and this amount of carrot oil. I want to know how much I can make because I just don't want to go make something thinking I have enough, but I don't, right? So I can use this prediction tool, click on calculate, and it will tell me that based on my numbers, I can make 49 car air freshness, okay, using this. And it breaks it down that the total oil will be 14.23. Okay, my utilization is about 94.9, about 95% of available oil. So that's what I've used, right? And then the surface area, you guys know that already. And the total fragrance oil that I'll be using will be 9.9. So I have 10, but I'm using 9.9. So the one left is about, the remaining fragrance oil that I have will be 0.04, and the remaining carrot oil that I will have will be 0.73. Okay, so that is an amazing system, and you can actually save this as a text file or you can capture the screenshot, okay, of this. All right, so you can reset the form as well. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that it is small but mighty. Okay, so you will have that as well. Plus, people who actually come through me to buy cardstock, there's always a processing fee of $75. Okay, so because you are a basic member here, that fee will be waived for your first purchase. So that is part of this basic $14 per month. Okay, so that first fee of your cardstock purchase will be free for the processing fee. That will be free. That will be free. Okay, now the pro plan is where you have the full Scentromatic system, the ultimate production system, the yield prediction system, and you have the scent profile designer. Okay, this is an amazing system. Okay, right here. You can use this to actually blend your fragrance oils. All right, you can do a lot of different blending and you can save your recipe right here. Okay, and you can do your custom scent right here. You can back up your files so you can come back and you can put them in. All right, so all of this stuff, I just want to let you guys know that these are not saved in any cloud. All right. There is nobody seeing whatever you want to keep secret, like your recipes, your formulation. All of the tools that I've created will be saved in your own local storage persistent, right? Which means that whenever you refresh your computer, you will not lose it. The only reason you might lose it is when you clear cache or in your browser. When you do like the browser cache clearing thing, you will lose stuff. That's why every one of them will have a backup system. So before you clear cache from your computer, you want to back up your files. So you can, when you do your clearing, you can come back and you can upload those things back. So there's export and import. Okay, so let me show you. For this one, now you can back up your system and then you can restore it back. Okay, all right. For the youth prediction, you don't really need to do any of the backup because you can just take a screenshot, or it's something you can just use as a tool to come every time to use. So this, you don't really need a backup for that. All right. Um, for this, you can see the data management. You can do like export all data and import all data. All right. So you can do all of that here too. Okay. So it is something that will be in your system. I don't even see your recipe. I don't see your formulation. So this is something for privacy, for people who like to have their own privacy. They don't want anybody to know their recipe, their formulation, any of that. So this is why the system is good for that reason, right? Okay, so you also have the CRM system, which I'm currently using, and it's an amazing system actually. And for the processing fee for cardstock, you have 1 year of free processing fee. So if you come to me now and say you want to buy cardstock and we process you through the manufacturer, you're not going to pay that $75 processing fee that is waived for you. And if you come back 6 months later and you say, you know what, I want to order another one, or you come back 7 months later, as long as it's within that 1 year, you will not be charged the processing fee. Okay. So that is something that you can get under the Pro plan for $24 a month. Now, for the studio plan, which is a $49 a month, you have the entire full Scentromatic system, the simulation, like just like the other ones do, and you have access to all the current and future tools, and you have the free lifetime cardstock purchase processing fee, meaning that every time you come to purchase, reorder, or you want to purchase cardstock or packaging cards, there will be no processing fee charged to you. Okay, that will be a free lifetime one. Okay, and if you don't like the monthly stuff, we have the annual stuff. Instead of paying monthly of $14 for the basic plan, you can just pay $100 for the year. All right, and that saves you $68 for the year. Okay, and you get the ultimate production system and the yield production just like you have here, but instead of paying monthly, you pay for yearly. Okay, and over here for the Pro, you have the same thing as here, but you're only paying the 179 per year, and that gives you a savings of $109 per year. Okay. All right. And it gives you the same thing as that. And for the studio, you can either do the $49 a month or you can do the $330 a year, and you save $258 per year. And you still have that free lifetime cardstock purchase processing fee. And all the other, all the current and future um, tools that I'll be producing or adding, you have those as well. Now, if you don't want any of these and you just want the lifetime plan, I don't want to be paying monthly or yearly, you can do the lifetime plan, which is $550 for a one-time payment, and you have access to the Scentromatic simulation system. You have all current and future tools, and you have the free lifetime cards of processing fee. This is the maximum savings, okay? Because you pay this once and you enjoy all of this, okay? And this is you saving a lot of this. If you look at this number and look at that number, and you're paying this every year, or you pay this one time, you do the math, okay? All right, so now you can either click here to start, whichever you want to start, you can just click, and it will take you to where you can start. I'm already logged in. So if I log out, okay, this is what you're going to see. And you can just put in your information here and then you can click on submit. It will take you to where you need to go to do your payments and all of that. Right. So now when you get to the membership area or the members area, this is what you see. All right. Members area, you have your data stays yours, 100% local and private, just like what I told you. No cloud storage, no data leaks. All your formulas and recipe live securely on your own device. Okay, your data are directly saved on your device in your browser's local storage. We have no access. It's 100% yours. Okay, and here you can have the simulation system, which is the Scentromatic system right here. And here you have the ultimate production system and all of that. So if you have the basic plan, you only have the simulation system, production system, and the yield prediction. All right. If you have the the pro plan, $24 per month, you have one, two, three, four, five, six. Okay. You have all of that. Now, if you have the studio, you have all of these plus some of the ones that are coming. Now, this one, seasonal market trend, this is a beast. I love this. Let me just give you guys a sneak peek of this one. So this is what it is, right? What it does is it shows you what you need to do for your seasonal product. Summer, spring, winter, all of that, right? Christmas shows you the calendar of when you need to push your product out, right? Gives you that trend, all right? You can select your winter and you can apply that. It tells you, see that? All of that. So this one is something that I will start using because I usually don't do Christmas fragrance oils really, but my store asked me to do some for them, so I've been doing it for them. But I'll probably start doing it now because this system is really going to help me a lot. Can go to report as well, and we can do a lot of damage with this. So this is an amazing system right here. All right. So, and this cost premium cost estimator, this one also is it's a beast. You look at this right here, you say, yeah, what would this do? This will do a lot. So if I put fragrance oil cost here, so you're doing like your premium cost estimation, right? Just your cost. So if I say fragrance oil cost, all right, let's see. Okay, this is per ounce, right? I'll just say 10. This is just for example. Ankara oil, I'll just say this. That's the cost, and the cardstock, I'll just call it maybe 50 cents. And I'll leave this alone, leave this alone. Also, I'm making 10 batches of this. I can call me and I click on calculate cost. Oh, actually, it wants me to put that there. 0, okay. Calculate cost. All right, so it gives me this. All right. Okay, from here, I can just see the breakdown of my cost per unit and suggested retail price. You know what? I will do videos about this individually so you guys can really enjoy the features of this because if I'm rushing this, I'm not doing justice to any of this at all. All right, so all of this has like dark mode and light mode and all of that. Okay, so I am just going to leave it here for now. And I will be opening up the website today. And those of you who are interested in the Scentromatic system, you can now register and start having access to them. And if you are in the basic plan, of course, you know what you're getting. If you're in the pro plan, you know what you're getting. And if you're in the studio plan, you know what you're getting. And again, this is just about how many? 9 of this, maybe? Okay, about 10 of this. I have a lot more coming to fill up the space. And, I just want to give you guys what I'm using. And I'm using a lot of this myself. And R&D, research and development testing tracker, amazing. Something I believe everybody should have. Everybody should have this actually. um, it is something. It is really something. That's all I can say for now. All right, let me just go back. And fragrance profitability, I'll talk about all of this maybe next time, one at a time. All right, this is all I have to say. I am exhausted. I'm going to come back here and let you guys know that you can start using this system and have the result that you're looking for. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you haven't liked this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and let me know how you guys are actually going to be using this system. Give me your best use case for this system, and then we can rub minds together and grow together as car and home air freshener makers. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Stay blessed and have a nice day. Bye bye.